Okay, here's the heads. Here's the various grinders we're going to use. I don't change bits, I change grinders. It's quicker and easier than going back and forth all the time. So you got oval shaped cutters and you got pear shaped cutters. And so we got one pair and ovals. So that's how you do these. These are radiused. You don't want to get sharp edged ones. All they do is dig in. Like I said, we want to try to knock off this spot right through here. So we're going to make a nice pathway from here to here. So you go in there with a big grinder like this and you cut it away. Come with a bigger one like this. Trying to come in through the top, they don't cut very good that way. If you come in from this direction, you got a lot of better contact, it'll cut a lot easier. So a little bit each direction, you go back and forth and knock it out. The biggest thing is you want to make it deeper through here where my finger is there. You want to make it any deeper here. That's already deep right there. So I got a fairly deep bowl in here and that's going to help the top end power. But we got to make it so it'll flow. This one over here, see it's not as deep as this one is. Even though it's the same deep, this port's smaller than this port. Harley ports are not equal, not by a long shot. We try to equalize them as much as we can, but they're not equal. Don't even bother trying, because they're all different. Okay, so for a head holder, we can use a spark plug holder. You can make your own if you want. This one here I just made for 18mm. I took a spark plug, took out the insulator, put a piece of bar stock inside of it, and it's just pressed in. I haven't welded it yet, but eventually I'll weld it. So you can take a spark plug like this, it's a broken one, cut this off, that comes out, and you got the part you need, the thread. So this one here has a 10mm on this side. This is a Jim's tool here, and I had to recut it because I didn't know how to cut threads. There was always binding going in the head, so I recut it, so now it fits. I can't seem to make anything exactly right for some reason. Hex works good. Round also works. Round is more universal. This one you're kind of locked into certain positions. A lot of times I don't have where I want it to be. This one I don't have to worry about it because it's even all the way around. They hold about the same. I use a smooth jaw of ice over here, so I don't have to worry about damaging anything. Alright, I'm going to take the worst one first. Helps to put the correct size in the right spot. See how it gets in the way, it's too long of a plug. Oh well. Tighten it up so it stays put. Alright, let's see what we got to work with here. You can start with the intake exhaust, it doesn't really matter which one. Just a matter what you come up with, final product, all that matters. Alright, so put that right there. A little bit of background light helps. You can see through the ports. Slightly easier, but doesn't always help. The biggest thing is you don't want to have it in your eyes, because your eyes have to adjust to darkness, and you got bright eyes and you can't see nothing. Alright, let's see if I can do it from this direction a little bit, and then I'll flip it around the other way. Let me use this big one first. Try to use the biggest one you can. It has a less chance of making divots and holes and stuff that you don't want. Okay. Okay, there's a ridge like this right here. I knocked that down. And I'm trying to put the cutter through here, and I feel this big hump right in here. So I'm just concentrating on cutting the hump. You gotta stay off the valve guide and don't cut the wall over there. Just put your pressure right here and try to cut it away. So this is in here like this. I'm just cutting that hump away right there is what I'm doing. So cut it down deep enough so that it feels like an even transition from this point to that point. You want it to be a fairly straight shot. When you make it straight, that's a good stopping point. And so then you come back with a smaller cutter and you can blend it in from here to here and up the wall over here, the back side. You gotta do the same thing over here, except this whole thing's a lot bigger on this side. I gotta cut away. I'm not interested in cutting this big edge out of here. That actually helps the flow because it goes around the guide and the air doesn't have to go back in here, it just skips it. So if you can have a little bit of a thin right here, it does not hurt. I just knock off the top of the ridges slightly to maybe blend it. So whatever feels good, probably will flow good. Used to flow better than what it was. Try not to cut off one side. You'd be surprised how much you screw up on the other side you can't see. Okay, I'm deep enough, and I'm going to move up and try to cut higher up on it. Hear the difference there? It's a high spot. Yeah, something sharp in here in your hand. So your hand's jammed in here. That's how you pivot and control what you're doing. It's sharp. A little more. Light's totally in the wrong spot. You can see now. And somebody already wants me too. Wonderful. So you can see how that's working right there. We'll be back. Okay, a lot of oil and everything because I lubricated everything. And it's wet for a while. It burns all the oil through the cutter. Alright, so you can see how I'm working that down through here. So this is actually starting to flow pretty good all the way out the port now. We still got the hump on the bottom. But the upper hump there, I kind of blended in a little bit. And you can see where I'm only cutting the shiny spot there. So you only cut the spot it needs to. You don't need to cut all the low spots away. Low is low. You don't need to make it lower. So this thing can blend in real nice with your finger. It's pretty good. So that's kind of roughed in a little bit. I'll have to go in from the other side and rough it some more because there's a big chunk over there that's going to come out now too. So right now I can go down next to this guy and get a little bit of that out of there. Cast iron cuts really slow, so it takes a lot of pressure. It gets your hand hurting quite a bit. Oh well, life in the big city, right? Okay, we've got to go to a smaller cutter now. Drop down the next size down. This is 5/8, this is 1/2 inch. Big drops, huh? And that's 3/8. You don't think that's just one size, but that's one size drop. Try to use this 1/2 inch one in here for now. Get some more of it out of that. blending. I got more room to put this in there than that big one. The big one just kind of guides where you go. This one does all the blending. Trying to get the high spots off, not making low spots. So now you can see how you kind of flow through here. My finger flows right in there pretty good now. I still got to work back here on the back side, but I'm trying to make this just a nice bowl, nice even radius all the way around. It don't have to be perfect, but it helps to get as close as you can. You can see over here the finger is right here. I'm not cutting any of this right here right now because this is actually low relative to this. This still needs to come down a little bit more. But for now I got to switch over to the other side. So you don't want to cut everything from one side because usually that means you did something wrong. More oil over here too. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and switch over to this side here. Rotate around where you can get to it. Put the light over where you can see. That helps a lot. So now I got to blend it from my finger to here. Cut all that out of there. Easier said than done. I don't think there's any way I can make it where you can see what I'm doing because I have to be able to see what I'm doing too. Maybe just a shoulder shot, I'm not sure. Okay, let's get the big one first. Get the hose out from under the camera helps. Put it right along the top of that ridge is what you want. The camera would be better over here. Might be able to see something there, who knows. So I'm going to cut right through here. So we're cutting the ridge away, not anything else, just the ridge for now. See, I'm all over that ridge area. I don't know if you can see it in there or not, but just working it down. It's still pretty big and high. I gotta start, as you bring it down, it gets wide, you gotta start going in and out more. It'd be a lot better, but still in there. Need to come from the other direction, but we'll see. Go back over here a little bit. Wherever the worst spot is, that's where you want to work them up first. You go back and forth wherever the next worst spot is. Keep working on it. It's hard to do with the valve guard in there, but when you're doing a heavy amount of work, it's easier to have the guide out of the way. But well, I didn't know I was having to cut so much out of here, but oh well, the way it goes. Work around it. Don't cut the guide off. Just try not to. Moving everything in circles, back this way, that way, in and out. Nice long radiuses. You can feel the cutter when you hit a high spot. When you feel a high spot, concentrate on the high spot a little bit. Don't concentrate on low spots. They get worse, not better. Okay. Now at this point I need to go from the other side, because if I keep cutting like this, I'm going to cut the back side of my seat, which I do not want to do. I want to keep that in there. So I get a pretty nice curve going. And I'm going to go back to this other side. Now I got a pretty good idea what this port looks like, and go back to the other side and blend the two sides of the bowl in. Back over here where we were working before. Make this part of the pole a little better. So let's see how this feels in here. It's a little bit uneven. I knew there was a high spot right in the middle I was trying to get out. It wasn't coming. So now I can kind of do it with this one here. High spot is right there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but hopefully you can. A bit further over maybe might help. Yeah, blended in a little bit better down there. The bowl is more consistent now. Now the cutter here rolls around pretty good. See how the cutter's not going up and down? Just follows all the way around nice and evenly. I don't know if you can see that or not. It just kind of rolls around like this, in and out a little bit. There's no high spot. That's what you're after. If you got a high spot, you got a problem. Low spots is the opposite of high spot. Okay, so I got the bowl worked in pretty good. We'll be back to revisit that, but for now, that's enough. Now you guys doing this, you probably should do that like 2 or 3 steps, going back and forth from the other side. I got a pretty good idea what I'm doing, so I can speed up the process a little bit. All right. Flip it around the other way. Okay, so now we're looking down the port here this way. A bit further. You're in my way, but oh well. So there's a hump right there we want to get rid of. It's right here where my finger is. So I want to go from straight here to here, straight, right in. No humps. That's the plan. So that means you got to take away some metal in there. That whole area right there is a high spot. So we got to figure out how we get that out of there. This is not good for taking out high spots that are long. It tends to make dips in there. You want something like this that's more flat. You need a better job of getting it out of there. This one's getting to be pretty dull, so it doesn't cut very well. Camera's in my way, but oh well. So there's not a very good line of sight here to look at, is there? See, I'm cutting right there. This one's pretty dull. It is cutting a little bit. Camera's in my way. So I can't rotate my bit over here. I'm cutting here and can't cut where I want to. You gotta be able to move your bit around. Your burr. So you gotta be able to move it like this real easily. Very important. Keep the RPM down helps. But be careful by going in too deep. I feel it digging in down in there. Going too deep, making a low spot. Somebody already cut the port pretty deep in, like there's a big low spot like this. I don't really like. So I got to cut more of this out to equalize it down in here. I'm not cutting the guide boss out because I want to keep it. The air is going through here and ain't going through that area. So I'm purposely not grinding that. Plus it gets real thin underneath on the other side where the spring pocket is. You can be careful about cutting too deep. cutting very good. Try this one. Could go get a new one, I guess. Helped. Takes a while. I want to make sure I don't cut too deep. That's the problem. Ooh, that helped. I went up the side of the wall a little bit. It's dangerous cutting up there from this angle because you can't see the short side. Alright, look pretty good. Go back to our long skinny one. Flatten the wall out. See how far off we were. Too bad. Machine gun fire out there. CO team's testing out there. They've been playing for 3 nights out there. Probably shooting 50s or something. Spots right through here we got to work on. Kind of a bad angle, but it's hard to do with walls. Need to rotate the head where you can get to it better. It's not a very good angle here. We need to get it more like this angle where we got access to it. I'm sitting on something over there. The camera's in my way. Okay, so you rotate it where you can get access to where you need to be without being too bad. There's not a light so you can't see it either. Use whatever you got to make it work better for you. You block your light up with the mounts and stuff. The sportster motor mounts come in handy. So. Okay, now we get in here and cut out the spot we don't like. It's pretty dark over there. There we go. One more light. Cutting like this, you can see where you're cutting. Only one little spot right there, because that's where you need to cut. And now we're going to blend it further deeper in, and we'll come back out. This whole thing's a little bit heavy here. There's a low spot. So whoever cut this port put a big low spot in here, or it was casted that way. I'm not sure. It might have been casted that way. Either way, we're dealing with it. Big low spot. It's making the port a lot bigger than I want it to be because I don't like that low spot. I don't want to make the whole port big enough to catch up with it, because then it's got a low. Then this sticks way up, makes a bad port. It's a problem when somebody's been here dicking around with stuff before you get to it. You got to kind of deal with it. You bother me over there. Are you out there playing with your 50 cal out there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Doing it for 3 nights straight. Either that or helicopter's got a miss in it.
Now I can hear it from my house because
you're on the other side of the bay. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Man, big massive low spot. drilling into a hole. I hate that. Launching ramp. All right. Making a big hole bigger.
Oh, I just keep grinding at it.
I don't know why it keeps getting bigger every time I grind on it. Yeah, that's terrible out here. Screwing up the whole port. Oh well.